Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, another brand new day. Yes, indeed, it is Monday. Ooga. All of my hamsters are sleeping, and they are the ones that I can see. Very mega cute. Little Gojira is actually flopped out on her back like a hedgehog. And so she's sleeping kind of like a hedgehog with her head a little bit tucked up, her back feet a little bit lifted up, and her front paws just hanging there. And she's just sleeping. And then little Dust Mop in his cage, I gotta get him a better covering, maybe, because right now there's a piece of cardboard that's flopped over onto its side, and he sleeps underneath that because it blocks off the light from the light, and he sleeps in there. But I also gave him his tube out of his old cage, because I wanted to make sure that he had stuff that he liked, because he'd like to be in his tube. Right now, he's sleeping in his tube. So I need to give him a thing like Gojira's mason jar, or one of these other cardboard boxes that they live in, because it's a safe place, and they need a safe place. I don't know if the tube is someplace he should be a lot. But he's wedged inside of his tube right now. I mean, at his size, it's fine. He's not stuck. I mean, he can go in. He can even back out just real easy, and it's fine. With his size and all that, he'd probably never have an issue, so it's not a big deal. Now, I have had some hamsters in the past when I and my wife, we had some hamsters, and we didn't know, so they were in the little wire and plastic cages that are just too small. But it was all we had, and we didn't know. But we had one. She was a golden colored, looked like honey. And we called her our little golden egg. Her name was Julia. And she liked to just crawl on Jennifer. She would crawl it between her neck and her shirt and just fall asleep back there. And Jennifer liked it, and the hamster liked it, and she was big. And she went through one of those tubes because she'd like to sit in the they usually have like this little cubby hole thing on the top where you go, there's the larger area on the bottom, and then they go through the tube, and then they're in this smaller little penthouse thing. She'd like to be up in her little penthouse, and she would just have to inch through, just to get through. But what are you going to do? She was a good hamster, but like all hamsters, unfortunately, I'm going to hopefully edit out the worst of the coughing. Remember, I have said, if it's just a or not an issue. It's if it's a really loud cough like the last one I just did there. Yeah, I'm going to try and replace that with chicken sounds. I'm kind of sad. Because I need to get some kind of coating to put on the back of that. Skin oils have worn off the cheap coating on the cheap metal of that thing. And as you can see, I don't know what metal it is. I'm not too worried about getting it on my skin. I had some corrosion coming off on my skin yesterday from it, though, so I had to keep wiping it off. But I need to get either this replaced or just like with nail polish so that it doesn't keep getting further corroded and rubbing off on my skin. So much as I like this one, it's kind of going to have to be retired until I can get that done. Such is life, though. Yes, it's cheap leather, very, very cheap, and so it's like stuck in the shape and form of my neck because, heat and form. So, life is life. It was like $10, under $10, so it's lasted this long. And this has lasted this long, so that's a good thing. I forgot to bring this one thing up. One of the things yesterday, because I'm so flighty, because of my fibromyalgia, fibro fog. It is very difficult to actually just concentrate on things anymore. Joy. I mean, part of that used to be depression. Unfortunately, on top of depression, as I'm coming out of that, the fibro, which I've had for forever, but it's, yay, the pain and all that of the depression is lifting, but it's just being replaced by everything else that's happening in life. But, as stated, I am flighty, and yesterday I said I wanted to talk about this one short story, which I want to talk about this one short story. I've got an idea for a beginning because I'm always thinking about these things, and I know I've got to write them, but at least while not writing them, I'm getting the ideas out of my head, so at least people know that there's something that's happening, instead of just radio silence and then I die and then no one ever goes, well, at least that was an interesting idea. It's too bad he didn't do anything with it, but there was an idea there. Because you can't copyright ideas. You can copyright the way that they're done, but if after I kick off people want to use my stuff to profit on, I can't stop them now. So putting my stuff out like this throws out the ideas. Can't copyright ideas. You can only copyright the way that you express them. But, as stated, I've got two ways that I've been able to introduce like Lovecraftian horrors and supernatural stuff into our world stories, where I figure our physical world, our physical universe has like a Faraday cage about it. And it's been, the Faraday cage in some cases has been, like I've told the story, well, the idea of the story, about the one fellow who, under the influence of an other universal thing, who was absolutely surprised that this worked, pierced the Faraday cage so it was able to poke in a little bit and screw around with our universe before getting bored and leaving. So there's weirdness that's entering that way, because the Faraday cage has been pierced. Not in a major way. I mean, our universe will come to an end before there's enough damage to the Faraday cage that actual destruction or anything horrifically horrific could happen. It's going to take that long even with a mass attack. So, not a danger, but it allows the introduction of all these weird things, extra universal. Our Faraday cage enforces our physical universal laws, which means there is no supernatural stuff that can happen. There is none of this weird stuff. I mean, we've got our history, but the more we look into all this stuff, it's just, urban legend, extreme low frequency sound, because extreme low frequency sound is amazing. Check up on it. It gives you the feelings of being haunted. You can see things that aren't there, and it's just sound. But coming back to, there's the Faraday cage one, and of course I've talked about how our universe and these story ideas are just, universes are just eggs inside of egg mother's egg sac, and egg mother is a 25th dimensional being. We're 3 plus 1. 3 dimensions, up, down, left, right, front, back, and they're 25 dimensions with 4 time senses. So how does that work? I have no idea. I'm a 3 plus 1 creature. I can't figure out how that would work. But our universe is just eggs in her egg sac, and she is a parasitic being, paralyzes, lays eggs, stashes the body as it's paralyzed, and then waits for the universe inside to hatch and the new being to feed and continue to live. What happens to the universe when the egg hatches? Don't know. But with all that, also inside of that, I guess I got 3 things that introduces that, except the extra universal thing is part of Egg Mother. So I guess it's only 2. There's these people that I've talked about who, whether it's happening now or trillennia from now, whether it's in our solar system or literally on the other side of the universe, there are these people that have figured out how to unroll a dimension and then put self-replicating stuff inside. They've been checking to make sure that it's not dangerous, because the math has said if this stuff happens and you see it, it could equal the end. And they've been checking to see, and only now have they realized, they've gone 100 decimals for the past like 5,000 years checking the math. It's only at the 101st decimal there's a difference. So that's bad. Because of this, because of those problems, it's been sending out events all the way through time and space, because when you leave one of these unrolled dimensions, the angle you leave, the speed that you leave, how much mass you have when you leave, determines where you come out in space and time. And unfortunately for these people, they've realized there's going to be more of these events happening at some point in the universe. There's going to be more of those than there are stars in the universe. And so these events are happening sometimes on Earth. 90% of all of these events, interstellar space, intergalactic space, nothing happens. 5% of the time, it's like on dead moons, stars. It can implode a star. You can make it vanish or turn into a giant geranium, which it then just goes. But 5% of them happen that way. Only 5% of them happen like places that are actually like Earth and such. So we got stuff like these that are happening. One of them, finally to the story idea, now that I've given you the background, is that there is a gated community. We have lots of gated communities in the U.S. I don't know if we have gated communities in the rest of the world, but in the USA, there are gated communities, which is sometimes you even have to have an ID card to be able to go into the gated community to live. They've given up that sort of freedom to have that safety from the outside world. Well, this is a gated community that takes up like 3 square miles. I'm not sure yet. It's like 2 or 3 square miles. I need something that's big but not insane. And they've always done a lot of work inside it there. They're progressive. They like to do this, they do that. They build theaters inside of there because they're all pretty rich. But about 6 months ago, they started really ramping up the construction. And only for like the past couple days have they realized nobody's heard any sound and nobody's seen any of the people that live there. And so they've gone in to check on it, and the entirety of the gated compound is filled up completely, 100% with construction. Not just, a building like a, office building, but buildings that have been made and then melded into each other and then wadded together, and the entire thing is filled up to 6 stories tall. 2 or 3 square miles of this, and nobody to be found. So they send a couple people in and they don't come back. And federal help up shows Alpha Squad. Alpha Squad is one of those, SEAL type team, special forces that they go in where other people will die. And then when they're done, everybody that was there is now dead. They used to do a lot of coups and stuff. Not bad people. They go after the bad people. But they do the wet work. Very dangerous people. 7 years ago, that's all they did. 2 years ago, they started investigating stuff like this. Now that's all they do. And so Alpha Squad's called in. That's as far as I've gotten on the concrete level. The rest of it is just concept stuff, because I am not the kind of person that outlines or writes. There are some writers, like, I can't remember, David Drake, who writes the Hammer Slammers, or wrote the Hammer Slammers series of science fiction mercenaries. When he writes, everything is written. Everything. There are no secrets, because when he's ready to write the actual manuscript, everything is already pre-written. All of the characters act the way that they've been told to act. I'm one of those writers, and there's a lot. It's a spectrum where it's when I start writing, I don't know what the hell my characters are going to do. I got a rough idea of, okay, there's this thing and there's this crazy stuff happening, and inside of it, here's you guys. And then let's find out what happens. And then I'm that kind of writer. I don't plot it out like, okay, and then this is going to occur and that's going to occur. It's bad thing or good thing. People smush. Let's figure out what the heck happens. And so, bad thing, very bad thing, because it's a whole lot more than they expect. When they first discovered it, it was 3 stories of construction. When they get there, it's like 5 stories. When they're ready to go in, it's 6. Nobody hears a thing. Nobody sees any stuff. But when the lights come up, every place that was in shadow is a couple more levels tall. So I'm working on that. And if you could check out my various links. No. And, oh my God, it's embarrassing. And I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. There we go. Yes, indeed. I'm not reading the comments right now. Just thanking you for having left a comment. Good, bad, indifferent, abusive, get trash can. But everything else I just leave in there, and that's fine. But, thank you for having left a comment. Now, if I mispronounce the username, I am very sorry. I'm an American English speaker, and it's a range of 20 to 25, because even though I can't American Sign Language, as you've seen, I'm able to concentrate about as well as I'm able to throw a piano. Thumbs up for that. Let me call my Chrome here. And we have Ryan Davies, thumbs up and thank you. Wicked Outlaw, greatly appreciated. Mr. Brennan, 21, thumbs up and thank you. Matthew Bulcher, greatly appreciated. Atomic 101, thumbs up and thank you. Tomati Tate, I know I'm nowhere close, but thank you very, very much. And Ern Groan, thumbs up and thank you. We have Marilee Cachero, thank you very much for the help, and I will keep my eyes open for that thing. Thank you so very, very much. And Uavaris, I'm nowhere close, but thank you very, very much. And Confused Owl 29, thumbs up and thank you. Sack, greatly appreciated. Phil the Thought Destroyer, how about that? Jessica Ramirez, thank you very, very much. I Want the World to Burn, well, don't we all? And Lexmark66, greatly appreciated. Junior Rosales 100, I sure hope I'm close. I will miss you though. That's still a heck of a sad name. And we have The Cake Man, thumbs up and thank you. And Thomas, greatly appreciated. Coyote Espinoza, thumbs up and thank you. I like the name there, it's pretty cool. Minnesota Metal Man, greatly appreciated. We have Denial, thumbs up and thank you. Russian Timing, greatly appreciated. Kathy Kitscat, thumbs up and thank you so much. And Violet Pate, greatly appreciated. Each and every one of you, you get me out of my head into the world, dealing with real people, and thumbs up, thank you very much, it is appreciated. I've been depressed my whole life, and getting out of your head is a good thing. Even though I've got social anxieties and I am alone, yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah. Excuse me. Now, if you could check out my various links, I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com, NearlySeniorCitizen.com, a blog that I haven't done anything with yet, but I'm going to soon. Promise. If you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. But if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest, so thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. Definite thumbs up. And of course, if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be very cool and greatly appreciated. I would understand if you did not wish to. But if you are down with it, I will do my very best to keep you entertained from now until the literal end of time, which is a very long time from now. So, make sure to get your punch card stamped. And that is such old tech. Good Lord, does anyone punch cards? Or like get a stamp in your passbook. Does anybody do anything like that anymore? I have no ideas. That's straight like 1940s, 1950s technology. Good Lord. Well, anyway, though, I've got this video, as you may have noticed. I've got another video to edit and render, another to record, edit, and render, because even though I barely get paid anything for doing these, I'm not doing it for fame or fortune. It'd be nice if I got paid so I don't get homeless, but I'm not doing it for that. It's for up here. Even if I had 100 subscribers and 5 viewers, I would still be doing this. So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and that is a very good thing. In fact, it is. And oh my gosh, I've got just a few seconds left, so Take care.